Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Hester, and welcome back to Space Engineers. Okay, now I'm sure a few of you are looking at the title of this video and wondering, Andrew, why aren't you working on the Death Star? Well, if you if you've been with the channel for longer than what was it, 2 weeks, then you more than likely would have seen the fact that I currently have the Death Star on hold as I blatantly f up this bit of. This is the downside of doing this in survival, but it's, trust me, it's much easier to build, for me at least, in survival than it is creative. Anyway, so if you've seen that video, I have the Death Star on hold because I hit the physical shapes limit, which I can't edit. It's not something I could just go in and say, hey, ignore this, or hey, have this go times 10 or on 100. It's just is a F up again. Brilliant. It's just a matter of, as I readjust, I I have to come up with a way to make it work. Now, a few of you have suggested I use landing gear. Some of you have suggested I use rotors, which, fair enough. For me right now, I'm taking a break because this is why I play in survival, where this gives me time to think, because if I get to a point where I feel like I can't really, as I start, if you see the mouse moving rapidly but you don't see me moving in Space Engineers, that just means that, hey, I'm doing rough calculations. Anyway, so for me it becomes a question of, I need to think about it, and how I go about doing it is what's being thought, if that made any sense, because it didn't even make any sense to me. Anyway, but this also gives me time to actually think out the rooms, and later on in the video, if you somehow find the patience or actually want to watch a what apparently is a 40-minute long time-lapse video of a grown-ass man without a webcam, in this case, building a 525-meter long ship. That being said, apologies for the train in the background, but as I was saying, that being said, I am learning. Jesus Christ, can that train go away? Then again, I don't think the microphone ever picks up the train unless I'm talking to people. Anyway, so one thing that I am taking away from the Death Star is maybe scale down on the projects. When I say the Eclipse 2 is 525 meters, take the actual length, which was 17,500 meters, divide that by 100, you get 175 meters. Take that times 5, or not 5, 3. Let me, yeah, take that times 3, and there you have the magic number of 523. Which, divided by, oh, which is 3% of the length of the, that doesn't sound right. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, that'd be 3% of the actual length of the Eclipse. Anywho, so as you can see here, I'm fiddling. You will see this for quite a while if you stick around and not listen to classical music, which a lot of you have been telling me that maybe I should source the classical music. The nice thing is YouTube actually has a library that it gives you, hey, these songs you can use, but you have to give credit in the description or in the actual video itself. And if I was to use those music files, more than likely I'm gonna put it in the video so no one can say I didn't. Anywho, but But no, I mostly stick with the classics that no one can copyright because the authors have been dead for centuries. So, and no one can buy the rights. Blah, 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 blah. Anywho. So, yeah. Not sure why I decided to. Looking back on this, if I was to build the 1 kilometer version I originally intended to build before I saw reason, just because Death Star and Fubar. Beautiful. I am learning new ways of building this rapidly, and I kind of wish YouTube had a speed thing that you can enable where you can, instead of 25% the speed, you can go 10% of the speed, because that would show how quickly I'm actually doing this, because the time lapse doesn't do me any justice. But then again, I almost have 5,000 hours in this game, so I would hope, because I play in survival, I have a means of building rapidly. Anywho, so, I will admit I do know more or less how I want to do this, although, again, as you get further into the video, I would probably recommend, if you're going to stop right about now, or soon after I stop talking, just because there's no way I can rant for 40 minutes about construction when it's like, it's kind of self-explanatory, unless I start just going, here we can watch as the engineer flies about placing grids. Oh no, looks like he just suffocated to death. Of which I have yet to die. I think I only died once, actually, now that I think about it. Except I don't remember. It might have been because I got distracted and it wasn't due to the actual construction, but meh. Yeah, this bottom bit right here, I do solve it. It's just, it was very infuriating going on early on, I should say. Although, that being said, yeah, the Titan, I do ultimately end up using the Titan, although I do wish I had a 7x7 thruster, just because it, well, you'll see later in the video, but although the nice thing is, the Titan is 20 blocks long. The Eclipse 2 that I'm building is about, I believe, 210? Okay, divide by, yeah, 210. So it's a tenth the length of the ship. But I am going to be using the Atlas green super laser, so it will look like the Eclipse. It's just, I'm trying to figure out where I should ultimately put it. Like, the military person in me is screaming, put it towards the front of the ship, so that way it has the max range that you can get from it. Another person of me, the engineer and nerd side of me, is thinking, put it a little ways inside the ship. That way you can have that cinematic shot where you have two unlucky engineers just standing right there as the beam fires, and they basically duck and shield their... Oh, look at that beauty. Yep, more mouse clicks. Anyhow, so you just get that cinematic, like the Death Star is firing its super laser, and you just get those people who shield their eyes, even though well, then again, I'm not sure if there'd be radiation, even though it is light amplified. It's been a while since I've read the acronym for laser, but yeah. Yes, the ever unimportant antenna that I could have just stuck on anywhere. But no, I'm going for the aesthetics of the Eclipse 2. Now, I don't think I actually talked about this now. I am building the Eclipse 2 just because there's not a lot of curves. So, because curves in Space Engineers aren't exactly the easiest thing to do. And I mean, that's probably one of the few ships that I would probably build it in creative, but again, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I'm not sure if I could be able to actually have the patience to build, but meh. Anywho, so if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. I think what I'll ultimately end up doing is maybe do the first 5-10 minutes or so explaining rather than just record almost 4 hours worth of construction, condense it down to a small, relatively small, video of 40 minutes. Oh, dear God. I need a girlfriend. Anyway, so basically condense it down to a smaller video and then just slap classical music and say, hey, content, please watch. I think I'll do like a questions and answers sort of thing in the beginning of the video, which includes the Death Star because, let's be honest, I only play in... Oh, look at that beauty. I kind of wish I waited to weld all these blocks just so you can see how... It just looks beautiful. Anyway. See, this is the nerd aspect of me. I wish there was more screen time of... in Star Wars, the shipyards of Star Wars, like the Carillion scene in Solo, the Solo movie, that was glorious. I just get giddy. See, especially this, where you see the ship start to get welded. The only reason why I would want to bring people into the survival world is so I could say, okay, you weld over here, you weld there, like 5 people welding in different places, and from a certain cinematic angle, it looks like, again, I should probably edit that in, but it looks like that cinematic view of the Star Destroyer getting constructed, even though it makes more sense to build it in space. But hey, when you're the galactic government, who cares about efficiency when you can go for badassery? Anywho, so with that said, as I discover a F up. Also, if you see me at various points paint the ship pink, that's so the grinder aspect, because let's be honest, I am never painting a ship pink unless I'm, I don't know, doing something for breast cancer awareness, or I don't know, but... Or I get a girlfriend who loves Space Engineers and her favorite color is pink and she likes whatever. Yeah. Anywho, so with that said, as I said, down below in the comments, do let me know if you guys want to see like a Q&A sort of thing, or I don't know, if you're excited for this, or if you have more suggestions for the Eclipse, not the Eclipse, the Eclipse is more or less straightforward, it's just not a giant sphere. But if you guys do have some suggestions for the Death Star, do let me know as well, because what I ultimately end up doing, I'll probably make a backup save and attempt something by the end of the week. I'm just hesitant because of how much time I have in it, and even though, yes, it'll be a backup save, I don't like wasting time, which is why I was so bummed when I saw that physical shapes limit hit sooner than, well, a freight train that's just derailed off the tracks. It... just not all around goodness. I wanted to cry. It was that bad. I didn't. Anyway, so with that said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Dear God, that's a lot of pink. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Why did I do the salute? You can't see me.
durch des Himmels prächtigen Land laufen Brüder eure, und laufen Brüder eure, und freudig wie ein Held zum Siegen, wie ein Held zum Siegen, laufen Brüder eure, Tochterhaus Elysium.
Meine Tochterhaus Elysium. Meine Tochterhaus Elysium.
Meine Tochterhaus Elysium.
Deine Zauber, deine Zauber, deine Zauber,
Is there something wrong with me?
Reinforcements on
Actually, don't answer that. I'll just say
Ready
yes.
for action.
upgrade in pro.
You've let unidentified.
No! What the fuck? This is my own planet!